Hey guys, this is Lisa Tedder with Tedder Bear Stamping, and I am going to teach you how to do this card today called Tarnished Foil. I learned it when I was in Utah at the Stampin' Up! Convention, or on stage is what we call it now, and I learned it from my good friends Carol and Hetty. So thank you girls for helping me, and let's get started and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so we're going to start off with a piece of the champagne foil, and I'll have the number in front. Let me adjust this just a little bit. There we go. And I'll have the number below. So what you do is you come in with your Big Shot and the embossing folder. So what you're going to do is normally when you do when you normally emboss, you want the butterflies to be out on this top. Well, this time I'm going to have it be where it's indented. So I'm going to point it away from the Sizzix word, so that way I can have it be indented. So I'm going to run this through, and of course I put the handle on the wrong side, but that's okay, we'll work with it. Okay. So now they are indented. So let's move that back. And then you are going to bring in your archival black. And you can do this before or after you run it through the machine. But you want to make sure that if you do it before, you heat set it so it doesn't get all over your folder. But you're just going to come in and make some splotches of the black, because we want to have them show up later, and it doesn't matter, some of it's going to be covered up with the embossing powder. So then you're going to heat set this, and let me do that real quick. Since it is the archival, it won't dry on this unless you heat set it, so that's why I did that. Alright, so I'm going to come in with my Versamark, and here it is. And I'm just going to bring in my copper embossing powder and come in with my Versamark and just do try to leave parts that aren't covered and just squish it on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it in the middle and then siphon it out the other side, so that I can get it as much on what I've got so far, and then do it again on the other side. Okay, so now here's the trick. You want to see, if you can see, I'm not sure you can, oh, you can see that there's some lines that are straight across. You don't want those lines. So you're just going to come in with your finger and smudge those lines so that it doesn't have any straight lines, but you still leave the powder there. You just don't want it to be where the lines are real solid. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. Okay, so now you can see, I can still see the champagne underneath, and I have the copper on top. So I'm going to put the copper aside, come in with my Versamark again, and try to go over spots that I didn't get with the copper, still leaving a little bit of the champagne showing. And we're going to pour the gold embossing powder on top. Oh, I just got some on my table, so I'll be smushing that off onto the floor. Now with this one, I think you can see a little bit better on the lines, maybe? Not so much. Alright, well I can see them, so I'm going to smush up my lines. Alright, come in with my heat tool again. Okay, so this is when you're going to come back in and look to see if you've missed some big spots. And I've got a big spot right here, probably because that's where I was holding it, that I want to add the gold to. So I'm going to just come in and try to get a little bit more on there. Where'd my gold go? Right here. And a little bit on this side. And again, make it so the lines aren't too noticeable. One more time. Okay, so now you look it over and there's not very much black left showing from before, so I'm going to come in with my black pad again and just put a few spots on it. Not as many as I did before because I just want it to be subtle, but it does make it look more old. And then you'll have to heat set that just so it won't rub off. Okay, so isn't that pretty so far? I love it. You can see the copper, the champagne, and the gold, and the black. So it's very pretty. Alright, so what I'm going to do, and this, I'm sorry, was on a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of the champagne foil paper. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put it on a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 piece of black. And let's get that on. And black just sets it off. And that helps flatten it too. Like I said, I've got powder on my table here. It's all gritty. Okay, so now we have that, and then I wanted to set it off, so I went ahead and I am going to put it on a gold piece of the glimmer foil, or not the glimmer, the copper or gold foil sheet, excuse me. But all of this will be wasted, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out the inside really fast. And it's got black on me. I'm going to start it at the quarter, or the half-inch line, and come down to the half-inch, and then just go down to 5 or 4 3/4. Turn it. Go from 4 3/4 to half-inch, and then you're going to just meet these lines. This way, you get to save this extra piece of gold that nobody's going to see. Alright, so then that comes out and you can put this to use it some other way. So you're going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the sides here. I'm using Fast Fuse. And line this up. Now that sheet was 4 by 5 1/4 for the gold, and now I'm going to do something that I just love to do, and I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper that I've used for another class, and I don't have anything that still has this gold trim, but the vanilla doesn't work because we don't have any vanilla in this card. So I'm going to bring in my bronze Stampin' Blend and just color this, and that way the gold still shows, but I have something that will match my project. And you just kind of go over it until you get the right shade. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I'm really excited about this. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to come in and have it go about right here. So I'm going to put some tape on the back to hold on to this ribbon. And let me move this again. And look at how pretty that looks on this. You can really see the gold in person. Alright, so I just wrap it around and have it hold on to where I put tape on the back. All right, so then I have the copper ribbon that we have, and I'll have all the numbers at the bottom of the screen, so keep an eye out. And I'm going to layer my ribbons because that is something that I love to do. So you can just put that copper right in the center and wrap it around. Isn't that stunning? I love it. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. And using my bone folder, make sure it's nice and firm. And the way to get your ribbons to hold really well is to have it go down this way, and then you can do the tape everywhere else. You just want those ribbons to hold since they are less likely to hold than the paper. All right, I wanted to make sure my card was opening the right way. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. This is even prettier than the one that I showed you to begin with because these are indented and it really pops. Okay, so what I did was I used my stitch shapes and I did my circles, and these are the two smallest. The smallest one I did with the champagne. The next smallest, the second to the smallest, I did with the gold. And then I used the new punch, and I can't remember the name, but it'll be at the bottom of your screen. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp onto this piece of gold with my black, excuse my reach, and I'm going to use a butterfly this time from the stamp set You Move Me, and I'm going to put it all the way to the top of this so that I have room for my words. That just kind of goes with the theme. And then I'm using the Happy Wishes from Celebration, and that you get 2 things of words, and they're all in script, which I love. And I want to make sure that my words are going the correct way. Whoop, okay, I thought I missed it. All right, it says you are the, and I'm going to have to heat set it because it's on foil paper. Okay, then I'm going to put a dimensional on the back, or a couple. Put that on my gold. Put a dimensional on those. On that I'm going to do 3, or bits and pieces and make it kind of 3. And put that onto my black piece. Okay, and that's going to go right like that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, then I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back to hold it onto the card. And so it says you are the, and then on the inside, let me show you what I did. So here's the inside, and I just did, since it says you are the on the front, and then I put best, which this is so pretty with the flowers, and I did it in gold in Versamark. Just make sure that you use your embossing buddy on this part. And then I sponged it with crumb cake, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. So here's the first one, and I used the bee from the stamp set Flying Home, which is brand new. See if you can see that. And then I used this one with the butterfly from You Move Me. And you'll have to tell me which one you like better and whether you like it indented or out. I just think it pops more and looks better with the indented. But you let me know. All right, I hope this was a good learning experience for you, and I will see you next time. Thanks.